to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. I will call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. I will take a motion to approve the agenda in the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Is there any further discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Rich is not on, is he?
No.
Okay, yeah. I didn't see any drainage. Is there anything about drainage? I will take a motion to approve the claims. I have a motion and a second to approve the claims. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Is there any reports?
No.
How about
No.
payroll, anything like that?
No, just.
And I didn't see no liquor license or anything like that. So then we have addendums to the law enforcement agreements with Fertile, Grafton, Joyce, and Kensett.
Got them all right away, huh?
They're all done.
Nice.
Yeah, usually it's after.
We just stretch it,
January.
we're stretching the thing.
February.
We got 'em done.
Well, usually still set years, you know, if they have renegotiated, so.
No, we don't have to. I think we're good for one more year then,
Yeah,
because I think I made it so someone wouldn't have to renegotiate.
so that's what I was figuring.
Yeah.
Okay. Surprised, but-
You got Kensett, oh, here it is.
So
I'll take a motion to approve these.
I'll make a motion for the agreement, addendums to agreements.
I'll second
A motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Next, we have Regina Crambeer on a discussion about the county attorney. I'll let you go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if any of you know our story or not, but, my 10-year-old daughter was raped at gunpoint, by a juvenile, here in Northwood. He was 1 month shy of being 16 years old. There was a lot that went on in, regards to the county attorney position. I mean, none of that is really your job. He doesn't have a boss. That's why he's voted in and stuff of that nature. But what I'm asking, or somebody had brought to my attention, is that you do have the ability to change the position from a part-time position to a full-time position. The reason why I think this is super important is because there was a lot of lack of time and attention that was put forward into this case. I was told that he didn't get paid enough to take cases to trial. He actually never even contacted us until after the plea agreement had taken place. We had never talked with him. We weren't notified of any of the hearings that took place. I actually ended up having to go forward and file for a guardian ad litem. So that way we were even, you know, in the loop as far as what was taking place. Why, I don't know. I know that there was another case that actually is gonna be coming to sentencing here in the next week or so. In that case, there was a OWI, couple of vehicular homicides, of which I know that he dropped all but one of the vehicular homicides. It's likely that that girl is going to get 3 years in jail. With Isaac, what he did is there was burglary, there was rape, kidnapping, and he used a gun, of which all of the charges were dropped except for the secondary sex abuse. Isaac will not spend any time in jail. So the biggest thing that I have to question is, with this being a part-time position, are we allowing it to be a fight for time? Is he, because we know he does his own thing, is he spending more time on his own thing than he is on actually taking cases to trial? I don't know. But to me, it sure seems that way. It seems like Worth County is kind of a laughing stock of Iowa. If you get caught in Worth County, he'll drop the charges so he doesn't have to take it to court. I feel like it's just so that he has more time available so that he can bill otherwise. I know that there used to be, somebody else that worked with him. I don't know why there isn't an assistant any longer. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But, I know that generally 3 out of 4 charges in Worth County are dropped. So even if, say you move this to a full-time position, obviously there's revenue, there's money that costs, even if we went to charging 2 out of 4 instead of 1 out of 4, you would essentially be doubling the money that you're taking in on fines that could help lessen the blow of some fashion. But it was brought to me that this is something that maybe has been discussed in the past, it's kind of gone back and forth on. And I really think that with these 2 large cases that have definitely, been a question in this community, if it's time that we put a little more effort and focus on the county attorney position. Like I said, I know that you guys can't fire him, and that's an election deal, and believe you me, I'm gonna share my story during that time as well. But I know that he's been reelected because he hasn't had anybody run against him. However, if it's a full-time position, we do know people that are interested in that. And it would open up the possibility for, somebody else maybe to get in there and run. So I just wanted to come and share our story and let you know, I did take a petition online, actually. I have several hundred signatures on it of people that are interested in Worth County of moving forward and getting some changes in our judicial system here. And so I just wanted to share my story.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you it has been discussed before. And as far as the assistant attorney, that was changed a few years ago. 3, 4 years ago, because that was shortly after I got out, so 4 years ago. And that was changed by the county attorney. We can't control that. We found that out in a hurry. So,
And he's supposed to be 75% is what he says.
yeah. So it still remains a part-time position. And this board has that option to go to a full-time. So you were getting the correct information.
Okay.
And like I say, it's been discussed. It probably should be discussed again.
Okay.
And I agree with you. I think, time, if that's an issue, then maybe we need somebody that's just dedicated to our time. So that's all I'm gonna say about it for now.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in and bringing it to our attention.
Yep, no problem. Thanks, guys.
Anybody hear anything on the water system? Okay, yeah.
No, Jason's, I haven't heard nothing from the DNR last I talked to him, so.
It's the end of the year, they're not gonna hear too much from them.
I'm not talking to anybody right now.
Yeah.
You'll be at the first of the year.
And, Melissa's off today. I think I got all of those.
As far as Winworth Echo. Since that discussion, something popped up here late last week. About, that ground up around the water tower. I don't know if she called you guys on that. I think she said she was going to.
Yep.
And I was gonna talk with Jason this week. I'm gonna meet with him and,
See how much.
discuss some stuff out there, but see what we would, if that becomes a possibility, what we'd wanna keep.
Yep.
As far as if we ever built another water plant, upgraded water plants, we would probably put it out there and get rid of that building by the Welcome Center. See how much land we would need to keep in order to have enough room for the water tower or water plant in that area, so. We'll talk with him a little bit.
Is there much room between where the well's at and to the north?
One well is not too far away from the tower.
Right.
But there is one north of the tower.
I'm not 100% sure. I've only seen the one.
What's that?
South, ain't it?
No, I got told it was north, about 150 feet north of the tower, there's a well.
Well, that area would be the area to keep for your.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I would
Ran into
think
that
is,
because of what was being built out there, how far away they had to stay.
We want whatever we own, but I would sure think that.
because it's a rectangle shape, the long ways east and west, to me, we take a section straight north and south rectangle.
Yeah.
And incorporated that water tower and then whatever necessary, if it's, 4 acres, 5 acres, that we could get away with keeping. If the rest would be possibly sold or not, so.
Possible, we could always talk somebody on, join them on, or sell a little bit if you need more.
Yeah,
You know,
So-
sell more land, so.
I'll talk to Jason on that, just see what he would recommend we keep for future out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna keep some because of the tower
Just because.
and that wells and that kind of stuff. So. That's all, I just, he talked to you guys. I don't know about that or not.
Sure.
I wanna keep your renter in the loop too, if anything more definite
Yeah,
happens.
so he doesn't
Yeah,
get inputs into it, and then we
Yeah.
gotta possibly pay
I
for
know.
his inputs.
So long, hey.
Yeah.
mhm.
The last I looked, it was all paid.
Kind of keeps it in.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep, it got brought up to me, so.
but it's something to, well, explore, I guess if more comes of it, then we'll.
Yeah, I definitely got to explore.
Yep.
Did you have a meeting on EMS last week? Anything new?
Yeah, we did. We actually met with, the committee from the west as well. And our committee kind of got together and we had, just discussions on, they're gonna do their own district, so they've got their petitions ready, and I think they're gonna start going door to door as well as we are. We put together a flyer just showing information, showing the maximum tax dollars it would take, estimations basically on what your dwellings assessed at, so everybody to have an idea, but yeah, so both the south and the west are gonna go just knocking on doors and try to get a petition, and we'll have to get calendar figured out as our next meeting, the 9th, I think. We're gonna get together again and get a calendar figured out, because it's, once petitions are signed, it comes to here, then we have so many days to do a public hearing, then we have so many days to do this, so many days to do that. So we're looking, possibility of a special election in like June sometime, would probably be as soon as it would get done, the timing of how it all works, so.
This is probably a dumb question, but would there be a point to do it early because, budget years and stuff like that? I mean, you're not gonna get any money going to it.
The earlier we could do this, the better.
Well, and I gotta double check, but according to code on that, if we get. This all gets approved before July 1st, they can actually. Start collecting after July 1st,
From how,
because it's so,
Taxes are always in the rear, how can you collect?
yeah, and the statements don't go out until,
well, they can, like, it would come out, so like when your September statement comes out, this tax would be a part of it. Because it's, yeah, that's the way I'm reading it, if you wanna take a peek at it, just on that portion, just to see what your thoughts are.
no clue.
But that's the way it looks to me, is that if this is all done. That you may start collecting taxes July 1st after the election. So if we waited until this fall, it would be another entire year. And then the problem we're gonna run into is not having the funds to pay for these ambulance services between now and then.
Another
so-
thing about ambulances, I haven't gotten a bill, is that still just kinda hanging?
Yep.
I guess I talked with Carl last week or whatever.
He's
about
putting
that.
it, he's putting something together at the present times.
Then we had some number discrepancies that we had on the amount of calls, and I think you guys got that ironed out, didn't you? Or got it close anyways, so. But yeah, so anyways, so we gotta look into that, how that plays out for taxation, but that's the way that I read it.
It would be nice if it played out that way.
And that's why we don't want, cause it would make more sense not to, cause then this group has to pay for the special elections. Well, the groups would have to pay for them, right? So we don't wanna do that, but we think we'd be money ahead, but if we could grab that taxation right away, then waiting another entire year. Because how are we gonna pay for the
And
ambulance
it's-
service?
But it isn't on an approved budget. That's what I don't
Yeah.
understand. There's too many
Yeah.
moving parts that I don't understand how they could hit that soon.
I don't,
I don't, that makes sense, but I mean, I'm not disagreeing with maybe what it
right,
says.
and that's,
but,
well, yeah, that's.
Keep digging.
Right, so we're gonna, I mean, if it's.
Cause you're levying by
Yeah.
township, aren't you? Or is it?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Well, by district, or what, and this would be, well, yeah, by
It'd be by
district.
township or by district.
Like,
either way.
yeah.
Well, we got one township that's split, so it'd be
Right.
by
They-
district.
yeah, so they would split that money would split one direction, the other direction,
Yeah, because I mean,
because
Cause I
then,
know ones that pass their EMS, like, we were trying to, they weren't gonna get money until the following July.
right,
I don't know, I wouldn't say maybe you could start collecting, but I wouldn't think you could, without budgeting for it, I mean, you could. Maybe that's even wrong, maybe I'm saying that, but
Well, you'd have to levy for
you
it
have to
first,
levy
you'd
for it
think,
first,
and
and,
that's,
and then have the expense on the other side.
right?
and so and that's where, like I said, there's a little more, it doesn't explain it very well.
Of course not.
Mhm.
And every time you read it,
Great.
you interpret it differently,
Uh-huh.
so it just,
That's why we
it's-
have attorneys.
right,
And
it's
Department of
weird.
Management.
And I've been talking with Ted Nelson down there on that, so he's been helping a lot with making sure we're going after the right portion of properties, the right taxation, what the numbers are, but as far as the election, when the taxation starts, I mean, it says if this is approved, you can start levying for that or getting taxed July 1st, following the election. So I have to look into that and see, because and what it'll be is like, the way I'm understanding it, so it's on your tax statement, it will just be, if you're in that district, it was emergency medical services, there'll be a multiplier in there,
Oh.
and you'll pay
for
that, yeah.
Yeah, cause that's always been zeros. We've never used that before ever.
Right, so by creating this district, so people in those townships and the towns, their tax statement, there should be another line item in that tax statement that says, you're paying whatever, so many cents per thousand, and it should have a dollar amount that you would pay, and that goes directly or strictly for EMS. So, yeah, there's a little bit of work to do on that, but we gotta start with petitions, and because they have to go to councils as well, because cities are separate.
Yep.
So, trying to do is get petitions all in order set, when it goes to councils and goes to supervisors all at the same time, we move forward, because then, we gotta do public hearings, everybody's gotta post everything, and it kind of moves forward that way. So that once it's all done, if it comes to a special election, we're all on the same page, so we all get it all done at one time.
We're gonna have a primary and
Primary to do, and they're a lot of fun.
Can we, I don't think, can we do it at that time? I don't think.
so,
No, I don't think anything else can be on primary, can it?
just, general.
Um,
Mm.
And we'll do it the next day. Leave your equipment there.
Oh, sure.
Well,
I
Yeah,
know,
that's the
it's-
way it works.
yeah, your poll workers really love 2 days in a row too.
Mhm.
Right,
You're lucky you get volunteers the way it is.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
The only other thing is they'll keep at it, and the other thing is if you see your legislators, let them know that should be day number 1 or day number 2, they address statewide EMS.
exactly, I agree.
They need to get off their duff and do that.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
totally.
Yeah, it's a statewide problem, it's not just.
It's, even if the counties have gotten, they're taken care of, it's still a statewide problem, so
It's
they've got ways to address it. We
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, even places that have the services already, they're
They're
struggling
struggling anyway. so.
financially too.
And every other commercial or a news story you hear about the state, they always mention the $4 billion surplus they've got, or whatever it's up to now, and it's like,
Which is awful, but
As-
it's starting
How much money's in that sports betting fund?
a lot.
It was a lot the last time we looked.
as I'm writing checks to the Iowa Department of Revenue for taxes, I'm thinking to myself, wow, do they really need my money? Do they need any of our money right now? Let us go for a year then. But it is so, anyways.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep working on that, so that'll come after the first year, obviously, probably towards the end of January. I think we're hoping that if we get enough, the petitions are all fulfilled, that like the first part, they'll catch the city councils at their meetings for February, and then come here first week of February as well, so. But that's the routine, so we'll see how it goes and get more info as we go, so.
We need to figure out which dates you can have the election too. You might wanna back into it.
Cause it,
which
yeah,
ones are actually open. Cause it's certain Tuesdays.
yeah, read that if you would, 357F, just read the election portion. Because I think it also says that election people are not supposed to be paid, and I don't agree with that.
What the heck?
Yeah, so,
Oh, for this special election,
Yeah,
because they more than likely would be out of the area. Okay.
yeah,
really?
but I don't agree with that. I mean, if they wanted to, I would not ask them, but if they wanted to volunteer their time, they could, but I wouldn't expect them to, cause, yeah, it's, it's, they give you the tool to do this, but it's just there's no real guidance on it. It's horrible. It's
Just
100%
have
gray
it from
area.
like 1 to 2 on a Tuesday or something.
No, we still have to, to me, yeah, like noon to 6, we're done, not this 8 to 8 or whatever it is, and have people sit there for how many hours just for a couple hundred voters, you know?
Like one of them's 357F and the other one's 357G. You find much difference between them?
That just changes from cities to
Counties.
just townships, so they
F is,
basically take.
F is unincorporated and G is incorporated, that's the cities.
Yeah, so all they do is change the language of the city
I
council.
didn't know if
versus
there's
the
a
board
little
of
bit difference in there,
supervisors.
or how they explained it.
No.
I thought maybe one would explain it better than the
So
other.
you're
one.
basically doing both at the same time?
Yeah.
You have to.
That's what we're trying to do is get them all so that the calendar hits, so when we do a special election, it's for cities, townships, and that's why we're working with the west side, so that all get done at the same time. So that one election is just, it would be a few more polling places over there, but it's done all at the same time, so that there's not a double election fee, I guess.
Well, if I can't
Cost.
find poll workers, it might not be.
Right.
We might be picking polling
Well,
places.
and that's what I said, looks like all of us committee members are gonna have to work the polls.
Mm.
Well, of course, you gotta be trained, you gotta do, it's like, it just don't work that way, but.
Well, and then wouldn't they consider you biased on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows, you know, but,
Crazy.
so yeah, anyways, we're working on it, it's coming, it'll keep coming, so.
Gotcha. Department head discussions, anybody? Supervisor weekly, AJ?
I had, Nighthawk last week, and, went through, budget's really starting to get tight down there. I know you guys probably saw the email come out, with their proposed increases for, this next year coming up, and one thing they've run into is that the inflation and cost of living and stuff like that, the gap got too big where everything took off this way and then they're coming up this way, so there's a little bit of a gap in funding there to try to get caught up, and that's gonna come about this year, and it's I think for the whole region, it was like $20,000 or something, so our portion was pretty minimal. So it's not like it's gonna be a huge jump, it's literally, I think, like $500 or something just to fill that gap, so. With the regular increases also, but anyways, that's coming, so, otherwise, everything is going pretty good, they've been getting, a lot of their funding in it, from feds and all that, finally taking care of a lot of buses that just got, delivered not too long ago, so. That's all I have.
Okay, Mark, you have anything?
Central Iowa Juvenile Detention, is one of our budgets, and we continue to run right at our allotted bed space for capacity. The new facilities that they built down there have been really a good thing, because I think there's, like, out of all the kids that are there, there's 5 or 6 that are actually in there for first degree murder, I believe, and there's some that were attempted murder, so. They're able to segregate some of these kids a little bit, so they don't have as many fights as we've been having. We'd, been having a lot of fights in there, and a lot of disrespect, and having to call in the Eldora Police Department and utilizing their services, because our workers really can't hardly touch these kids, and, without getting in serious trouble, so, it's ongoing thing, but budget wise, we're doing good, we're paying down the debt, at a rapid rate, interest being a little higher, he's ahead of schedule on payments, so that's a good thing, so. It's kind of what it was.
Okay, I didn't have anything. Does anybody see anything on the agenda that needs to get added or? Looks fine to me, so. In that case, then I will take a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
I have a motion, a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries, we are adjourned.
You get a chance to talk to Tim at all?
Oh, I forgot about the other night. We had the other group there.